Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. It's summer, finally. It's summer. Today is the saddest day of the year. It is. You ask why? It's because from now on, all the days get shorter. Sunset comes back a couple minutes every day. Sunrise comes forward a couple minutes every day. We're on the downhill side of this year, folks. I hope you enjoyed the first half. Anyway, what did I do this weekend? I went to Battleship Cove. We toured all four of the ships. I know I must have missed a couple areas. Those ships are huge. For one thing, I didn't go all the way up to the 04 level of the USS Massachusetts because I've been up there before. I stuck mostly to down in the bowels of the ship. And man, if any of you follow me on Facebook, you saw the pictures of the berthing areas. It's 3 high and it's no privacy and it's military service. All right, so it was a great weekend. Sunrise on Sunday morning, I shot from Plum Island. So, great weekend. Beautiful weather. This coming weekend is going to be beautiful again. Father's Day, I got a nice Facebook note from my daughter on Father's Day. It was very nice. Let's start today. I'm going to talk about, of course, gun stuff because, you know, that's all the media can talk about now is how guns are ruining our society. And I'll start with Facebook because I had a comment on last week's show where we talked about, you know, the Orlando shooting and the news was saying it's the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history and blah, blah, blah. And Mark commented on the page. He says, Orlando was not the biggest mass shooting in American history. See the link in my comment above. And I clicked on the link in the comment above. It took me to a website called The Big Think. And an article titled, "The Worst Mass Shooting in History Was Not in Orlando. It was actually in Wounded Knee." That's right. And the reason we don't talk about that one is because that was perpetrated by the government. That's right. I've been saying it for years, man. We're all, our government, or the government that we have allowed it to become. That didn't make sense at all, did it? The government wants us to think that it's perfect. It never does anything wrong. You know, we're angels. We treat people with dignity and respect. And you know, we value life above everything else. And you know that's crap. Our government and the media want you to believe that Hitler was a huge bad dude because he killed all the Jewish people. 100 years before Hitler killed the Jews, the American government slaughtered the Indians. Not the Indians from India, the Indians from America, the Native Americans, the people who lived on this land before us. And you want to know a fact about the Indians? They never believed the land belonged to them. They didn't put price tags on chunks of land. They believed the land was here for all of us. So anyway, yeah, it was December 29th, 1890, a regiment of 500 American troops surrounded a group of Lakota Indians on the Lakota Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota and ordered them to surrender their weapons. That's right, that's what the government does. The first step is to take away your weapons, which is what they're trying to do to us now. All right, let me see if it says exactly how many Indians were killed. The figures vary, but respected historians count close to 300 Lakotas murdered, while it is believed many of the 25 soldiers who were killed died from friendly fire due to the general mayhem. Yeah. So, you know, when you think about mass shootings and mass killings, you could say that, you know, our government wrote the book on it. You know, we've all heard about, you know, the United States government giving the Indians the blankets, you know, because we care about you people and we want you to be safe and warm. Here, take these blankets. They've got smallpox in them. You know, smallpox was a disease that the white man brought here. None of the Native Americans had ever been exposed to anything like that. Everything that the natives were exposed to, they could handle with their medicines. We came along and said, hey, we're nice people. Here, have some blankets. They started dying off. It's as bad as if we just took a gun and started shooting them, which we did in Wounded Knee. So, let me get back to the whole gun thing. I heard last week something that kind of struck me as odd when the 4 bills went through the Senate and failed. One of the bills was it would make it illegal for somebody on the terror watch list to buy a gun. Now, wait a minute. Does that mean that right now, if somebody's on the terror watch list, they can buy a gun? Oh, we can't do anything to them until they kill people. It's a catch-22 thing. You know? And again, we're being led by the government and the media into believing that despite all of the facts that you've heard, the Orlando shooting was not a religious-based event. They've released partial transcripts of the calls between this shooter and the FBI hostage negotiator. Of course, any mention of Islam, of religion, of jihad, all of that was redacted out. They didn't release any of that stuff because they don't want to stir up emotions. Again, I don't know the answers. Because, again, we're a freedom of religion tolerant people. I mean, that's the basis of our country. Maybe not. I was going to say the basis of our country was tolerance. But when you think about it, the people that came to this country came in small groups of like people. It wasn't like a cornucopia of a mix of different people, all with different ideas coming over here to settle the new world. It was all people that had a common goal, a common interest, common religion. They all looked alike. You know, pilgrims were pilgrims. They settled in Plymouth, Massachusetts. The Quakers were different. They hated the Pilgrims. They settled somewhere else. So on and so forth. You know, if you were a Quaker, you didn't want to go live in Plymouth because you had nothing in common with those people. You wanted to stay with your little group of Quakers. And that's what it was. It was, you know, people living in their common groups. And you can still see that today. They say we've licked racism. Damn straight we have. We got black people all over the place. We got Chinese people. We got, you know, you name it. We've got every type of race and nationality in the world right here on this soil. We've licked racism. But yeah, you can go to places where there are all white gated communities, and maybe you start to think a little different about, well, maybe we haven't licked racism. Or maybe it's just natural for people to want to be with other people that they have stuff in common with. There you go. I don't know. It's. I've always thought the United States should be more like Switzerland, with not, of course, I'd love to be isolationist. I'd love to see the United States as a completely self-sufficient country where we didn't need anything from anywhere else in the world. If that were the case, we wouldn't have to fight all over the world. If you want a TV, you buy a TV from a guy that makes them in America. You want a computer? Somebody in America makes a computer. You know, that's the key. Countries need to be self-sufficient so that they don't have to get into drama with other countries. That's it. I mean, Switzerland isn't isolationist. They have basically open trade with the world, but they don't get involved in other people's conflicts. Maybe that's the way we should be. Back to the guns. Because laws are not going to solve anything. Laws, the only people that laws affect are law-abiding citizens. Somebody who's honest and above board pays attention to laws. Then again, how many of you people sitting at home watching this show right now have driven your car at least 15 miles an hour over the speed limit? There you go. Then why wouldn't you shoot somebody? You're lawbreakers. Law says speed limit is 55. If you drive 70, you're a lawbreaker. You're not a law-abiding citizen at that point. You see how that goes? But if you get caught for speeding, you're fined. Maybe you'll learn your lesson, maybe you won't. Again, harsher punishments, I believe, would help. You know, an eye for an eye. It doesn't have to be an eye for an eye or anything like that. But if you kill somebody, guess what? We're going to kill you. That's the way it is. For the simple fact that you took away somebody else's right to life. You should die. In this country, we have altogether too many criminals' rights. You know, criminals don't deserve rights. Criminals give up their rights when they commit their crimes. On the other hand, if a person commits a non-violent crime, because this is something that has been bugging me for a long time because I'm in the category. I committed felony theft back in 1990, 25 years ago. I committed a felony theft. I stole a camera that was worth $7,500. And I got caught. And I did my time. And guess what? I'm still considered a criminal. Even though I have paid my debt to society, I still don't have the right to own a gun. So guess what? As a law-abiding citizen, I don't own a gun. Because the law tells me I can't. So where is the mindset of these people, that go out and commit these heinous acts? They know that shooting people is bad and shooting people is against the law. And it doesn't stop them. Seems like, any idiot could see that another law is not going to help. That 10 more laws aren't going to help, that 100 laws aren't going to help. Because there's already a law against killing people, but people still do. Which means they don't care about laws. What needs to happen is, again, harsher punishments. And none of this, the friggin' Boston Marathon bomber. I'm still not sure if he's been to a complete and full, if his trial thing is completely over. But he's got rights. You can't treat him bad. You can't, Again, we give criminals altogether too many rights. Lawyers are in bed together. Prosecutors and defense attorneys are in bed together and they're planning deals and they're trying to figure out what's the cheapest and easiest way to settle all this stuff. I'll just let the guy go. Okay. A rapist gets 6 months in jail? Again, give him something that he's gonna regret. Cut off his thing. Or something. Don't worry, you're not gonna have to go to jail. But you won't rape anybody anymore either. There, now live with your loss. I just think that, people will be less in a hurry to commit crimes if the risks were higher. Yeah, that's the thing. And we shouldn't fear the police. That's another thing that, the media has got us all up in arms about. Oh, you should be afraid of the police, and the police are nothing but Nazi criminals out to kill everybody that they can. Yeah, that's crap. Some of the best people I know are police officers. And they do a damn good job in a career where any minute their life could end. They're not. The police have to look at everybody as a potentially non-law-abiding citizen. Because again, not everybody cares about the laws. I don't know. It's stupid. And it's stupid, plain and simple. It's politicians trying to put on a good face, pretending that they can protect you. And they can't. They know they can't. Probably the best thing that could ever happen in this world is if they cut out everybody's tongue. Everybody in the whole world cut their tongues out. It would be a quiet, peaceful world then. But you know something? There would probably still be violence. Because somebody would go, say with no tongue. Which means, I killed him because he looked at me wrong. There's going to be violence. There's always going to be violence. We just have to find a way to ease it back. Maybe put the horror back in violence, so that people are actually afraid of violence. Not just used to it because we've spent 8 to 12 hours every damn day in front of a big screen, killing stuff with our video games and seeing blood splatter and everything. Oh, that's cool. That's wicked cool. No, it's not. It's not cool at all. I've actually got a shooting game. Well, not anymore. I just deleted it off my phone. I had a shooting game on my phone, but it was taking up too much data, so I had to get rid of it. But it wasn't a shooting game that shot people. It was a shooting game that shot animals and targets. There you go. Anyway, let's see, we're rolling down. And I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the gun stuff. I'm tired of the politicians who won't face the facts that yes, while we are a highly tolerant of peaceful religions, any religion that wants to kill every other religion should be dealt with and not allowed. There are countries in this world that have no Muslims in them. And guess what? They have no terrorism. We go, oh, you got to leave the Muslims alone. You got to let the Muslims live like they want to live. Muslims want to live by Sharia law. That means killing homosexuals. That means treating women like second-class citizens. This is all the stuff that we've been fighting against for the last 100 years. Again, we are America. Bring us your poor, your weak, it's all there on the Statue of Liberty. Go down and read it. I haven't read it, so I don't know. But it says, bring us your huddled masses and we'll take care of you. We became known as the great melting pot. A little fact that from 1920 until 1965, there was zero legal immigration in the United States. We put an end to immigration because we had been flooded in the early 1900s with immigrants. So we took a moratorium on immigration. No more immigration. No, we're not going to let anybody else in until these people that have just arrived, these hundreds of thousands that have just arrived, can assimilate, can become American. We're the great melting pot. The key is people have to melt. You don't come to this country from another country and say, I want to live just like I did in my old country. You come to this country to become American. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let's get to some fun facts because I know you guys like those. The Bible is the most shoplifted book in the world. Is people just want it so that they can read that thou shalt not steal. According to Genesis 1:20-22, the chicken came before the egg. In the Caribbean, there are oysters that can climb trees. Mel Blanc, who did the voice of Bugs Bunny as well as lots of other great cartoons, he was allergic to carrots. California has issued 6 driver's licenses to people named Jesus Christ, as he was Jesus Christ. In the Caribbean, there are oysters that can climb trees. I think I read that. Squirrels forget where they hide about half their nuts. So. And this answers a lot of questions. George W. Bush was once a cheerleader. That's right. That's right. All right, my time's up. Let me give you just a couple more because I have to. Each year there are more than 40,000 toilet-related injuries in the United States. So again, be careful. Stuff could happen anywhere. And yeah, all right. My time's up. If you watch on Facebook, share me. Click that little share button and share me with your friends. Spread me around a little bit. If you're on YouTube, find that button around here somewhere that says subscribe. Push that button, you'll get every episode of Unfiltered. Till next time, I'm Rick Blood. This is Unfiltered. Peace.